We're gonna give you 14 ideas that you can take into your business. We're also gonna tell you how we used them in our business to increase our brand, to make us some of the top salespeople in the automotive industry history. Ultimately, what do you have to do to be very successful in sales? You have to be able to meet people. You have to be able to stand out from the crowd, and you have to be able to be different, look different, and get different results. And all of those come from one thing: people. And so today, this is going to teach you a strategy on how to acquire more people into your brand, so ultimately you can grow going into this next season. Number one, I want you to write this down: partner with your local businesses. You know, one thing that we did really well is, like, I'm gonna give you a few ideas, and then these ideas, I'm hoping that you just take these ideas and elevate into your brand. But we had a Mexican restaurant that's very popular in town. They used to come and buy cars from us all the time. And so one time, getting to know them, we're like, hey, what if our dealer bought food from you guys on Saturdays, because they're buying these little turkey damn sandwiches that suck and it's expired meat. And we're like, what if we could get the owner to buy from you guys? You guys are buying cars from us, leveraging our brand, leveraging resources that we already have, being smart. And I said, hey, if we did that, could we put a QR code like on the tables in your thing? Because you guys got these little menus on y'all's tables. Do you mind if it says a QR code? Number two, okay, I'm not going to skip over these, but number two is QR reader, putting QR codes places. And I'm going to talk about both of these real quick. But we put those QR codes in this restaurant, and it literally just said, how do you buy a car? It literally said, if we could give you more money than your car is worth, would you want to know what it is, or something like that?
What was your trade cycle? What was your usual payment?
Yeah, you know,
what's your payoff on your vehicle?
If you could get in, and people would scan it, and they would want to get like an appraisal on their car, right? And it would go through a couple of things. What's your payoff? What's this? What's that? Super simple. But we would have never got that lead source. That lead source to us was 50, 60, 70 cars a year. Simple. So, I mean, when you're getting 5, 6, 7 car deals a month that people aren't even thinking about, that's massive. Evan, what was another local business that we partnered with that really helped our business?
I remember the time I sold the most cars that I ever sold, and it was to a landscaping company.
When you skated me out of 10 deals?
Imagine this. Ian is an average salesperson. Evan's an average salesperson. Evan starts to think differently than Ian. Evan starts to think like an entrepreneur. Ian is still just thinking like a regular old salesperson.
And Ian's like, what are you doing?
Ian's playing
Come back down to the bucket.
Evan's playing offense.
Ian's trying to grab Evan and pull him back down into the crab bucket.
I see a landscaping company that's driving around with Nissan trucks. What I did was I went down to their corporate their shop. They only had 5 trucks, but I started to build a friendship with them. They were driving Nissan Frontiers. Within a year, I sold them 5 new trucks in one freaking day. They were just buying through the corporate program. When they found out that they could have a rep actually on the floor, give them a great deal, they went through me. Okay? How many times do you might see a business, you might see something you want to do, but you're like, oh no, man, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know what I would say to them. Dude, just jump. Take the action, man. Take the action. That one changed my life because it started to grow my identity. Once I started to make some of these deals where I wasn't just selling one-to-one, but I was partnering up with somebody and I was selling one-to-many, that changed everything for me. And then Ian was still just an average salesperson.
Well, I'll tell you what, I do remember getting really pissed off, bud, because I looked over and I seen 5 Frontiers sitting out front, and we used to put like, you know, like our little, basically like a piece of construction paper with our name on it, sold. And I walked by, I'm like, who sold 5 Frontiers? And Evan, who was messing around with this little landscaping company, I'm like, dude, quit talking to the lawnmowers, bro. We got cars to sell. They're coming in to buy 5 Frontiers, and I'm like, okay, all right. So I want you guys to write this word down: awareness. Yep. Awareness of things that are happening around you, awareness of things that are happening in the market, awareness of solving a problem. When Evan went in there, he went in there and added value. So think about this. You know, I know he used to bring them Chick-fil-A. I'm like, dude, you're wasting your money. Like, stop giving them shit. And he's like, dude, there's something here. There's something here. And that one deal changed our lives, really, dude. So you could do something like that, give some value, and you're going to receive on the back end.
And I've told you guys this story multiple times, but Ian and I had a marketing director for Children's Hospital come in one time, and she sat with us to buy a car. Again, this was me. Most of these are my ideas, just so you know. The lady sat with me, and once I figured out that she had a team of like 50 people underneath her, but she ran all the marketing for the local hospital.
True.
We already had people coming in because we were right next door, coming in and buying cars.
It is a big hospital, thousands of employees.
Man, it was crazy. So what we did was we went down there again and we figured out a way to add value to her. I said, look, do you guys do sales meetings like this? And when we talked to her, after building a little bit of a relationship, we were able to work our way into some of their marketing from the hospital. One deal led to 2 deals, so led to another referral, led to multiple
You remember
deals.
when she let us speak to their team?
Yes, and
We walked in, we didn't know how to public speak. We were like, I was scared. Evan got up there and he started trembling.
No, that's not. That wasn't
His
me.
tongue started popping out. He's like,
not me.
his eyes started going like this.
That was not
And I was
me.
like, bro, listen, let me handle this. And then what happened was we spoke to like 70 of them. We both did a pretty bad job.
Horrible.
But like 8 or 9 people came up to us after and they're like, hey, we just love you guys. You guys are clearly idiots, but like you're car salesmen, so it's no big deal. And we're like, hey, it's all good. We were making more than most of the doctors anyways. You know what I mean? Like we were, I'm there. I remember doctors would come in, they'd be like, when are you gonna get a real job? And then I look at their year to date and I'd be like, damn, dude, I made what you made in, the year in 6 months. So who's got the real job, dog? I might not be that smart, but I know where the money's at.
I would always
okay?
gas them up. I'd say, hey, listen, man, I just want to be like you when I get older.
Totally.
Tell me how you got successful.
A little flattery.
I would always get them to talk about themselves. I'm like, man, tell me, where'd you go to school? Why'd you do that? Meanwhile, old Evan here is racking out. I'm doing really well, but I never wanted to boast about myself. I always wanted to make the customers feel good. Okay, number 2. This basically.
Well, hold on. We're on number 2 was QR codes because you can put QR codes in the service drive. You can put QR codes in local businesses. You can put QR codes everywhere. You can put QR codes on the back of your neck. You can put QR codes on your eyelids. Okay, they can scan them anywhere.
If you got a good barber,
Nico's got one on his card right there.
Look at that. Nico's got one. If you got a good barber, you can get it etched
Don't
into
you
your
tell
hair.
anybody that because you got guys that are kind of dumb, like Jason Gobden on there. I don't even know how to say his last name.
That
so
sounded dumb.
Yeah, that sounded pretty dumb, but he'll go get a tattoo of a QR code because he'll take it one step
That's an
forward.
Anson Mitchell deal. Who knows Jesse Cloud that's on our sales team?
Anybody know
coach
Jesse?
Okay, Jesse is one of our most coachable students that we've ever had. We've known him since he was 18 years old. He's 22. He's one of our top coaches in our program. We told Jesse about the QR codes. It wasn't but a few seconds later, he was on a website and he was learning ways to put that QR code in different places that there was a lot of foot traffic where
Gas
people
stations.
would want to meet Jesse. What happens if you guys start to have different buckets of business that people are coming into? See, right now, if the market dries up with your Facebook ads, with one thing, like your business starts to slow down, or the people that just walk in the door, you need to start to diversify so you have different people coming in from different things, okay? Number 3 is your charities. Now, I'm gonna tell you real quick about the charity that Ian and I just partnered with. I literally just got out of a meeting
2
doing
seconds ago.
what I'm about to tell you guys right now. Ian and I...
You sometimes do got some good ideas, I will admit.
By the way, this one was my idea.
And this one isn't about money, but it makes you feel good.
Dude, listen, this one is honestly one of the most selfish things that you can do for yourself, but it's also one of the best things you can ever do for your community.
So it's selfish and selfless.
It is.
I think that's the words you were looking for.
It's so freaking amazing. So check this out, man. Imagine this. It doesn't even matter if you're a company, if you have big influence, you could be just a single person who can start to do this, and you'll start to attract a tribe of people that are like you. Who wants to attract more people? Who wants to attract a tribe that has the same core values as you, right? That's why you're here, because you have the same values as us. Imagine, there's plenty of people out there. So Ian and I, it's like, what, 2019? Ian and I have a friend who runs a basketball organization in Denver.
Yep.
We reached out to them. We said, hey, why don't you come down? We're gonna play you live on Facebook. We're gonna play you Knockout. Anybody know Knockout? It's a free throw game. We said, if you guys win, we're gonna donate a certain amount to your charity, but also anybody who shares this post, we're gonna contribute money to their charity.
Yeah, it's $20. Yep, and then our boss was like, hey, he's never been on Facebook. He goes, and this was a very smart question, but at the time I was like, you're so stupid. Like, this is never going to happen.
We got this covered.
He goes, well, you guys are the Facebook guys. So he goes, is there any shot at this thing going viral?
Nah,
I'm like, dude, it's just us
bro.
playing basketball.
No way.
They'll probably have 100 friends share it. We'll probably have maybe 50 friends share it.
2, 3, 4 grand, bro.
I mean, it's going to cost you like 4 or 5 grand. We're naturally going to make a car deal today off of it. Like, it's easy, bro. And it ended up getting shared like 1,000 times. And what happened is we ended up having to part ways with like 100 grand. And we walked up to, not us, because I didn't have that kind of money. I walked upstairs and I'm like, you're not going to believe this. Here's the good news. We've already got 6 car deals today.
Deliver the good news.
6 car deals today. We've already netted like 60 grand. But the good news is we're only like $40,000 in the hole because this thing's gone viral on the internet. It's everywhere. We don't know how. It's just a bunch of idiots playing Knockout. And But hey, it's for a good cause, so we got to give them a big old check, and let's turn that into marketing as we do it.
Now,
what do you say?
now,
and he's like, get out of my office.
Now you have to understand, we had a really good relationship with him because we
had
always had creative ideas that always paid off. And he knew that we were the type of salespeople that weren't like salespeople. We were entrepreneurs. We were always trying to find new things to create new business. He had never seen that before in the car business. Ever. So he was always willing to support our crazy ideas. Now, imagine, I'm leaving, I'm talking to my team right now. When you're partnered with a charity, some of the cool things are you can leverage their audience. Their audience is going to be attracted to you. They're going to share it. And if it's a charity you're passionate about, like, then you share common interests with those people when they're coming in. We just partnered with a single moms charity called Helping Hands for Single Moms at Impact Church. One of the cool things about this charity is it's for single moms. Ian and I grew up in a single mom household, so we're really passionate about that. I reached out to Impact Church. I said, who do you got that we can help? He said, Evan, I'm glad you're asking. It's so crazy because we're 7 families short. He said it's about $250 per kid. Some of the kids got 3 families, or some of the families got 3, 4 families. I said, cool. Let me ask my team how much we can get, who's bought in on what. Now we're partnered with this charity. We're going to go down and be able to shake more hands, meet people in the community. We're going to give them free training. We're just going to talk to people. Now, here's the thing. We're not going in there thinking, what can we take? We're going in there thinking, what can we add value? I think when you do it like that, you're going to be surprised what kind of doors open up for you. The people on here that are probably already out are the people who it's always something that has to be in it for you. What if you just started adding value to other people and your frequency went up? When we walk through that room, people are going to be asking, who are those guys? What do they do? Like, because our frequency is high, because we care.
Yeah, and it creates altitude in your brand. It makes you different. See, people would always be like, oh, you're just a car salesman. I'm the car salesman. Come on. Like, do you not see me online? Do you not see me with, the Nuggets, these basketball players, these charities, these different things? I was always taking my brand from the average salesperson, and I was always so separate, so different, because I worked my way into these things. But these guys wouldn't even have wanted me in their circles. I was in the biggest circles in my city. They would have never even let me in. The mayor, the governor. I sold 6 leases to the governor. Yep. The governor, his whole family, they were $49. We sold everyone one. Evan had 2 of them. He didn't even need them. Matter of fact, he had his old girlfriend driving around in a couple of them suckers. We were just buying them like shoes, okay? But in order to get into these circles, you gotta be different. They gotta see that you're adding value in different places. And Evan said the actual cardinal rule of networking. It's not what can I take, but what can I give? And if you can do that in some of these networking situations, it's huge. So charities, that's number 3.
What if you could just pick one right now and you were able to donate some of your time because you didn't have the money? You were able to donate some energy, and you're able, a lot of you guys, sometimes when I see you, I can see the look on your face, and sometimes it's not confident. Sometimes it looks like you have like imposter syndrome going on or some things in your head, and you're more concerned with the things that are going on with you. And to me, that means you kind of look helpless. Ian's rule is if you feel helpless, you got to get helpful. Some of you guys are a little introverted. So if you started getting out and meeting strangers, what would happen if somebody was actually on the lot, on the phone, in your business, and you were so used to meeting strangers that you just came off as like the Casanova, man. You were just like, what's up, man? Because you're always in those situations putting intentional pressure on yourself.
Yep.
That's how you become a great salesperson.
Yep. Number 4, flyer marketing. This one's super important because this is guerrilla marketing, and everywhere me and Evan went in our cars, we went to vistaprint.com, and we literally just created like little cards, and it just said like, hey, my name is Ian and Evan, here's our logo, and it like just had our logo, not here's your logo, but it had our logo, and then it just said, hey, we can give you more money than your car's worth. We'd love to just tell you what it is. Message us if you're interested. And if I parked at a mall, I saw 4 or 5 cars there. I literally just put them on 5 cars. And it'd be crazy. At the end of the month, I'd probably have 30 to 40 people that reached out. Maybe it was only 3 or 4 or 5 deals, but there were 3 or 4 or 5 deals, all these little buckets that added up. A lot of people want to know how you made it when you make it. Like when they think you made it, I ain't made shit yet. But like they think, oh man, because you did this, like you made it, right? Maybe I made it in that industry, and they want to know how you did it, but they don't want to do the work that it takes for you to do that, right? Like my whole life was when I went to anywhere, like a family family party or anything, dude, I was outside of Praise and Trades. I was outside like, hey, giving my card. You took me to Chipotle. You know, Andy was like, hey, watch, we walked into a dealership in Tennessee and we had 4 owners. And he's like, watch how these guys can walk out with a car deal in Chipotle.
They're like, nah. Impossible.
And they're like, nah. And he's like, all right, just let them loose. Twins, go do it. Go do it. And see, what people think, like when I'm going to tell this story is, oh, well, I could never do that. Well, because I started with going to the mall, shaking hands, doing charities, reaching out to people. People think I'm naturally like charismatic and extroverted. I'm actually not. Anybody can be taught to be charismatic. Anybody can be taught to be extroverted. Charismatic is just a subset of behaviors. And what that is like, hey, a charismatic person nods their head. A charismatic person, when they listen, they look interested. A charismatic person, they look like they're not thinking when somebody else is talking because they're actually interested in what you're saying. They're smiling. They're like they're nodding. Like those things are all learned, but people think you're charismatic because you've just learned how to do it. They think you're extroverted because you just learned how to get out of your shell and go shake the hand even though you don't want to shake the hand.
I wish you were more charismatic with me.
Yeah, but I know you, so I'm like, whatever. Went into this Chipotle, it was super easy for me. I had a card with I always had the same card on it, it said the same thing, and the lady's making my burrito, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best Chipotle ever. Compliment, putting it out there, good energy. She's like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm so glad you asked. I'm in the automotive business, you know, I'm just right next door. These are my partners. Hey, say hi, guys. They're like, hi. And she's making my burrito. I'm like, hey, what kind of car do you drive? And she's like, well, I drive a 2014 Chevy Cruze. I'm like, oh, no way. How do you like it? She's like, I don't really like it. But she's like, but I can't get out of it. The payments are too high. And she just starts going down this rabbit hole. And I'm like, my gosh, do you know what we do for a living is we help people's payments go down. We help them stay the same. We help them upgrade the car. They typically don't have to pay any money out of pocket because I know that's the next objection. Okay, so I'm busting her objection up front. And I'm like, listen, I know you got a lunch break. We're not far from here. If I could do what I'm telling you I could do, could me and you have a further conversation about this? And then as I'm doing that, Andy's all like smiling because these guys didn't think it was real.
He's got these 3 general managers.
The lady next to him is like, hey, I want to do what y'all are talking about. Yeah. She's like, I want in on this. And then the guy at the cash register is like, hey, what are y'all talking about? Hey, can y'all really get a car with no money down? I'm like, all y'all can get one. You guys all want one? Let's go. 3 of them came in after work. We sold 2 of them a car. The one guy, he didn't get a car. You know, he couldn't finance a Happy Meal, but that's okay.
Ian tried to co-sign for him, but Ian's credit at the time was maxed out. Ian was maxed.
Hey, if I got to finance for you, as long as I'm winning and y'all buy me, get me done on something, I'm ready.
He's doing it.
Okay, but that was 2 car deals. The whole next seminar or the next teaching that Andy was teaching them was exactly what we're teaching you. Just getting out of your shell, I didn't know if I was going to hit that shot. Now listen, this is my #1 rule in the Elliott group. For our sales team, we manage behaviors, we don't manage results. So what that means is if I go into somewhere and I have the behaviors of success, getting out of my own comfort zone, shaking the hands, talking to the 5 people when I'm in the restaurant, you know, doing these things that set me up for success, that's how you get the
numbers
outcome.
Just work.
You're never gonna be able to say, oh, I wanna get this big gross, I wanna get this big outcome. It's no, did you manage your behaviors today to equal that success? And we became really good at that, so when I would walk into somewhere, I already knew typically what my outcome was going to be because I knew my system. Super easy.
Yep. And so with flyer marketing, man, like Ian and I always had these flyers in our car, and we would pull up and we would see an old 2012 Nissan Altima. We'd just stick it right on there. It was just
lower your payments, muscle, whatever.
It became muscle memory. It was just something that we did. So remember that. Like, is there some things that you could print out that you could be handing out to people? You know, there's so many different like cool little apps and websites now where you can hire a couple of temporary temp agents, and you could have them go pass out freaking flyers at the mall, and it might cost you $80 for the day to have 3 freaking kids go for 2 hours.
We had our nephews. Hey, one time we got fired from a dealership. You know, I don't know if we got fired or quit. It was kind of a little bit of both. It was one of those things.
Either way, it was your fault, that one.
Yeah, but you know what we did?
I was just guilty by face association.
So we were like, we gonna kill these people. Just in a nice way. We just wanted to dominate them. Okay, don't go writing Google reviews. Okay, flyer market the entire general manager's neighborhood of we'll lower all your payments and put our logos on there, and and we would just take up shop in the competition's mind, just doing a little bit of things that not necessarily illegal, but just putting them in front of people and always standing out. All right, number 5, cash in on hot trends. Okay, you guys see like Alex Hormozi's ads, like it's like all these ones where people are rolling out of cars and then you're like, bam, gotcha. Like, and then it just gets people to have a conversation. So like, if you go look at things online and you see a viral trend happening, when there was like fidget spinners, you remember those fidget spinners that were happening? You know, Brad McCombs had like 50 of them and shit. He had them all different colors.
He's just fidgeting,
you know what I mean?
He's fidgeting on his pinkies. He's just like,
yeah.
I don't know why he's using his pinkies.
One time you couldn't get those online, and so Evan and I bought like 1,000 of them for like $500 from like China. And we said, anybody who comes in today gets a fidget spinner. We had like 900 people show up for those damn fidget spinners, okay? And we might only sold a few cars off of that, but it allowed us to have conversations, okay? Back in the day in the car business, they used to give out like these things, these popcorn bowls, like literally customers, I couldn't imagine that they'd put this in the newspaper, popcorn bowls, and you just put the popcorn in and put a lid on it and it would cook the popcorn. Like, I think you could have just put it in the microwave at the time, but I don't know. But people would actually line up for days outside of our store.
Advertise them in the newspaper.
And average salespeople, you know what they would say? They'd walk in, they'd be like,
oh, I'm not
damn it, man, Nick's
people.
freaking brought the popcorn maker out. People are just going to want the damn popcorn maker. We're like, you so damn dumb, dude.
Talk to people.
I'm about to go talk to all these customers. So the negative salespeople would stay inside. The little low-limiting thinkers, low-frequency thinkers would stay inside. And me and Evan will be walking out there, dude. We always find a deal, dude.
Hey, you remember when
because we just find a conversation.
You remember when Nick told us we were no longer allowed to hand out fidget spinners? You remember that? You remember when?
Oh shit! I totally. No, it was the guy in service.
Yeah. So.
Oh shit! I totally forgot about that.
This is besides the point. But one of our guys in
this is how ideas kind of break down.
This is one of our guys in service decided to put it on a compression system.
You know, like those air guns that pump up the tires?
And he put it on there to get it to spin really fast. Well, we watched the camera. It spins so fast it turned red and turned orange. And
it was like a missile.
And it freaking blew up in his damn face. And it like
blew his ear. It blew his ear off, like his entire side of his head off. He didn't die, but
listen, can I be honest with you?
And you know, he was mad at us. And I'm like, I mean, bro, I sold a couple car deals off this fidget spinner. How did I know that Eric Powell was going to go attach a fidget spinner to an air compressing machine and blow his damn ear off? Number 6, water bottles. Okay, so you know, this water bottle idea was really good for us. We lived in Colorado next to Red Rocks, and you know, we had Sundays off as a dealership. So what we would do is we would get these water bottles, we'd get our logos printed on them. They cost almost nothing, okay? And people are coming down from these long hikes and shit, okay? They're coming down from these festivals, man. What do they want? Water, man. Okay? Average salespeople are not going to stand out there and have conversations. We had a sign. We had our nephews out there. We had a little spike ball game going, and they'd come down. We'd be like, hey, here's some water with us. And they'd be like, what do you guys do? Who are you guys? And it would allow us to at least open up that conversation. It would allow us to stand out. While we were out there, we were on Facebook like, hey, guys, we're passing out water down here. If you're on the mountain, you're coming down, just say what's up. We're also playing spike ball, volleyball. If you guys want to have some barbecue, we got some barbecue. Come down and see us. We're set up right here. And it just allowed us to be different and have conversation.
My cousin, who's our official finance advisor for the Elliott Group, his name is Sawyer Monson. He's an incredible guy, man. So proud of him. He's built this incredible agency. He's got 30 agents underneath him. He took that same idea because he used to do these things with us, and he bought water for the entire Elliott Group. Like, if you go downstairs, there's water that say Elevation Wealth Planning around all of them, and there's a QR code on it.
And it's like free financial review.
And it says fitness. It says financial fitness. Get your finance in your. It's like a tagline on fitness because like everybody likes that we work out. It's like get your finances in shape or something like that. And you can book a review at all of our workouts and stuff. We hand them out to people. And he just thought, man, how can I capitalize on that network? That's smart. That's thinking. Listen, one of the reasons why I love doing this stuff is because when I'm creative, I cannot get negative. When you're creating for your brand, when you're creating leads, when you're getting out there and you're building your brand, it's impossible to be negative when you're creating. You can't. Mm-hmm. Now, when you stop creating and you stop putting in the work and you stop keeping your promises to yourself, or you come up with these ideas and you stop doing them, what happens? Devil creeps in, you start getting negative, and then your momentum dies.
Well, it's a special weapon as a salesperson to stay creative and stay thinking that everything's possible and you can do things a little bit differently. So number 7, piggy banks, man. when you bought a car from us and you had a kid, we would always put $5 in a piggy bank, and this is investing in your customers. Amateurs don't do that, pros do, okay? Before we had any money, we just put a nickel in there. We did take a nickel out of Evan's piggy bank we had when we grew up, and it was Evan's investment into the kids, right? But when we were there, we'd say, hey, listen, guys, as you get to $50, come back in and we'll match you an additional $50. As you get to $100, come back in and we'll give you $5, we'll give you $10, we'll take a picture and we'll celebrate it. We're gonna help you buy your first car when you're 18, okay? Now, Evan and I, in 10 years, we had customers that actually came in 10 years later, and that stayed in touch with us for their entire careers, because ultimately, me and Evan never really saw ourselves doing anything different than what we were doing. So our entire goal was to build an infrastructure of customers that came back. If you've been in sales longer than 2-3 years and you don't have an entire referral base and you're still calling customers, you are doing it wrong. By year 3-4, you would literally have to beg me to go outside and talk to a customer that I didn't know. Why? Because I was entitled. I didn't want to talk to customers who had a bunch of questions.
You didn't even know how to up them. I'm like, you know what the meet and greet is? He's like, if they don't know me, I don't even know what to tell them.
Because if they knew me, they were already sold on me. So it was like I could tell them anything, and they were just excited. They were happy. They were referred. Like, they weren't price shopping. They weren't doing none of that shit. So like, after 3 or 4 years, like, you should be looking to build this. Like, even today, I don't call nobody. I've never called anybody on this Zoom and been like, hey, do you want to do training with us? You've typically somehow got my personal cell phone number, been referred to us, or something of that nature. Or if you're a big business owner, you've been through another big business owner that have referred you to me. I am not like, that's how I roll. Because if you do a really good job with people, they'll always stay with you. And amateurs, they're looking for the daily commissions. Friends, professional salespeople, they're looking for the fortunes and the friends. And the fortune is in the friends, and you have to create those friends so you can create the fortunes, and you're not looking for just daily commissions, okay? Yes. So I would tell them that. They would come back with their piggy bank, which was super cool. We'd put some money in that piggy bank and give me a chance to see them again. I'd be like, Evan, dude, this is amazing, man. Here, let's drop $5 in the piggy bank. Hey, this is crazy, man. I haven't seen you in like 4 months, and you ain't send me one dang customer. You ain't send me one friend, dude. What is wrong with you, man? I'm stealing your kid's piggy bank, dude. Yeah. Your kid's piggy bank is coming with me.
Right on the floor.
Boom.
No more piggy banks.
No more piggy banks for kids if you don't refer people.
Yes.
No, but it would
allow me. Customer. Just kidding.
It would allow me to just have a friend that I could talk to a little bit and just get to know them again and just say hi to them and just be in front of them.
Write this down. Offboarding the client. Like, this is separate from it. What he just told you is how to offboard people. Some of you guys, your sales process might take 2-3 hours. At the end of the deal, people need to feel like they love to be around you. They're going to remember that last 5 to 10 minutes. That's why at the end of the sale, we're giving them a handwritten card, a piggy bank, something like that. When we onboard them, write onboard down. When people would come into our stores, to this day, if you go into my desk in the Lions Den, I have coloring books. Because when kids walk into the Lions Den, I'm like, oh, cool, here you go. And I give them a freaking coloring book. And I talk to them. And it takes the wall down from like their parents. And it gives me a chance to like be Uncle Evan, man. They're like, oh, dude, I like this guy. And kids are usually the third baseman in the deal. So why don't you win them over right from the beginning? But I've said that a lot of the times to a lot of you guys, and some of you have still not done it. If I was a fitness trainer, anybody, it didn't matter. If I knew that somebody had kids, I would always have something where I could help them out, show them that, dude, people love their kids more than anything.
Yeah, Evan did a deal. This is a good creative fact. Evan did a deal the other day, and I think the guy was spending like 50 grand or something, you know, which is a decent number. And, you know, this guy was doing something special with Evan, and Evan got to know him and understood that he had kids. And so what did Evan do? Evan, not because he wanted to make a sale, but because he wanted to be different. The intention is different. Like, you actually have to have the intention of being different, not just making a sale. Okay, like, at least that's important to me. Okay, so Evan knew he had kids. He sends him crumble cookie, and the guy's kind of on the fence, and then the guy sends back, and Evan gets these texts all the time. But then, you know, the guy sends, he's probably ordered 1,000, he's the best crumble cookie order in the world.
If Andy knew how much crumble cookie I ordered for people,
it'd be against the law, dude.
It would be against our core value.
He is going against the core value of getting people jacked with abs.
Well, you know what I did? I heard him say his kids' names. I wrote those down. I wrote his wife's name down.
Awareness.
I jumped on, the second we got off the call, I jumped on DoorDash, ordered some food. I sent him a message, said, hey, I got a surprise coming to you on the way. Today's your cheat day. Don't tell Andy Elliott. 6-pack or you're fired after today. Okay? And then he sends me back a video of his kids opening up the cookies and being all
so
jacked
excited.
up. And you know what he said? Trial closed. Check this out. He says, man, those cookies better be good. They're worth $50,000. And I was like, oh, damn. So and that was him closing. He closed up 2 days later. Not specifically because of that. I do a good job and I deliver at a high level. But when I was on the phone with him, I said this. I said, dude, you're never gonna run into another coach, another person like me. I am not a salesperson. I am an entrepreneur that gives a shit about my business unlike anybody you're ever gonna see. And I'm gonna prove it to you. Just watch over the next couple of weeks. Boom, the very first day, hour after the call, he's blown away. He's blown away. He's invested in personal development before. He's been in coaching before. Not with me. Not with me. Hey guys, it's the Macklin Twins. Let's go.
Hey guys, if you have any questions at all, we want you to text us. Our phone number is 480-780-2203, and one of us will get back to you. We got your back for life. Let's get back to the video. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Number 8, book influencers. Book people that are local in your community that have a big following. Now listen, here's the deal. Some people you don't even know what kind of following they have, okay? But you're missing out on like renting their audience. Let me explain.
Write that down.
I had a guy that came in, he was an average guy. He had 800 people on Facebook. Nobody was following this dude, okay? And then, you know, you're like, I got 50 people on Facebook and, you know, like you got nobody, okay? But there's a guy, this guy had 800 people on Facebook, not a whole lot. I still want to get in front of his audience. But as I was building conversation with him, he said something about this Facebook page that was massively popular, the most popular Facebook page in all of Colorado. And I said, you run that page? And he said, yeah. And I said, oh my God, light just went off. I know there's millions and millions of people on this local page.
It's the second most viewed page next to 9 News.
Which is our news channel there. So it's the most viewed thing. And as I started building a relationship with him, I made him know that he was getting a really good deal. And I said, hey, if I do XYZ inside of this deal, would you allow me to tag you and post it on I'm From Denver? And he said, yes. And I said, let's take this one step further. Would me and my brother be able to be like sponsors of the page or do something even bigger with you on the page? And I couldn't believe that he told me, he said, dude, I'll let you post 20 times a month for $1,000. And I was like,
are you serious?
I'm like, oh, we got a dummy. We got a dummy.
$1,000 per post?
Like per post, and that would have been a deal. And he's like, and then I started to identify that this guy just didn't even really understand what he had.
How to monetize his following.
And so anyways, we ended up making an agreement after like 5 or 6 months to buy the page. And then it became one of our biggest lead sources, all because we were aware up front that this guy was in charge of that. Now, he might not have been a necessary influencer, but he had influence with inside of Facebook groups. He had influence with inside of some of the things he was doing. And if you tag a customer and say, hey, are you belong to a Facebook group? Share it for me. They'll do it, okay? Next, we had our local rapper from our neighborhood, and when he came in and purchased a vehicle, dude, I said, hey, listen, dude, you know, listen, we need you to post this. Let's make a rap song about this car. If you do that, we'll do XYZ. We'll give you some free oil changes. You cool? He said yes. He made a cool rap song and went viral on the internet, and people just got to see our faces even more, creating more altitude in our brand, creating more awareness in our brand, just by thinking and doing something a little different.
Yeah, so ask yourself right now, slow down for a second, look at your list right now. And if you're not taking good notes,
and you should have 8, I think.
If you're not taking good notes, it's directly related to why you're not going to win. I want you to circle one that you get excited about, that then you can get creative on.
It might not be all 8.
And just write something out. I don't need them to be all of it, guys. We're throwing up 14 years of doing what we did to build something big. There's a guy named Corey Baker. Some of you guys follow him. If you don't, get on Facebook. He's one of the most popular car salesmen in the country right now.
I think his podcast just went live.
Corey, I think his podcast just went live on our page. Corey, if you don't follow us, go follow us on Macklin Twins on our YouTube channel. Everybody write that down real quick. Macklin Twins, our YouTube channel. But on Andy's YouTube channel, he just went, his podcast went, just dropped. But the reason why I'm telling you that is he took what we've done over the last couple of years, and honestly, he's elevating it. Like, I have never seen a guy go from where he was at, totally counted on, where his wife was literally heating water up on the stove for baths for his children a couple of years ago, to selling 60 cars a month in what, under 3 years?
Yeah, well, in 9 months, he started selling about 50 cars just in that time period. But imagine having to then go and you tell your wife, hey, I'm losing, but I'm gonna sell all these TVs and invest in the business. She's like, what the heck is wrong with you, dude? And then he comes and buys a course, gets onto what this training is, and then 4 or 5 months later, and he'll tell it on the story. He said, I followed Ian's Facebook strategy and I didn't win for 4 months. And honestly, I think you could win the same day, because I've seen people win the same day with our Facebook strategy. But he said, I just did the action every day. Remember the behaviors? He did the behaviors every day. And then he's like, 4 months later, I had to hire somebody because I had so many people out front of the dealer that I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do. And that's the greatest thing that you could ever experience as a car salesman. And that's what happened. And now his whole life's changed.
Imagine that. Once you start taking the action and you start doing the work, like, you guys need to go to bed every day tired and freaking waking up hungry. You know, go to bed tired, wake up hungry. If you got a big why, it's one of the reasons why you're going to kick some butt.
Yep. Number 9, t-shirts. Super simple, sounds kind of vanilla, but I mean, everywhere you see us go, we're in an Elliott shirt. Everywhere you see us do anything, our entire company has taken over the entire world because I see that shirt and they identify it. Me and Evan always wore our logos in everything we wore. Like when we were in the gym, it said, dude, ask me about how we can trade in your car. And we had all these little sayings. Ask me about how we can give you too much for your car. People would be like, hey, what's that? And it'd be the conversation.
You know, a lot of people too, they wonder like how the Elliott shirts like just sprang about. They think Andy like forced us all to wear Elliott shirts, like it's a part of the enrolling you in the cult or something.
You're indoctrinated. You're fired if you're not wearing it.
Ian and I actually just started printing our shirt. Like we were like, we love repping our brand. So as the brand started, people started to kind of know Andy. We were like, you know what? We went down to a print shop and we printed just simple. Elliott. This is actually our logo. Elliott is not really the logo.
Well, it wasn't the logo.
It wasn't.
Elliott Army wasn't even the logo, and we didn't even have a clothing company or anything like that at the time. Now we do, but we literally just said, hey, we want to rock this everywhere we go so people know and they want to have a conversation, because that's what we did in the car business. And then our entire company started saying, hey, where'd you get that Elliott shirt? And we're like, well, you can go buy one. You just got to go buy one yourself. The company ain't buying you shit because we ain't got no money. Okay, like we're running a company. We're
buying you shit. Go buy it.
Buying you shit, boy.
Put some skin in the game.
Put some skin in the game. So we're like, you go buy your own shit. And then everybody started wearing them, and then nobody else wanted to not wear an Elliott shirt.
Well, and then you're walking around and people are like, what is that? And you're like, oh, glad you asked that. Boom. Sale. Now we're working on our sales game.
And then now everybody's like, and then now we have a website where you can purchase the Elliott shirts. You can go to our website,
ElliottArmy.com.
Army.com, and
ElliottArmyGear.com. Go on.
And then people started calling us an army. And then we were like, we are an army.
And then we're like, oh, we build armies. We build culture. And then it kind of became, that's one of our things that we're known for. So then we made
Elliott Army, and then that's kind of just how things work, So they sometimes just get legs and start walking. But number 10 is advertising. Evan and I didn't understand advertising for a long time, and we made one advertisement that literally changed our careers. And this advertisement was me, like with a piece of paper. I saw this guy do an ad. Remember, because I'm aware. So I saw a car salesman. He had a credit app like this, and you can see
in Andy's Facebook group at the time.
Yeah, and you could see that the guy had a 590 credit score, and I liked to do business with people that had challenged credit. I had a really good finance manager.
He spoke the language.
I spoke the language of having bad credit because I had bad credit. So like, I knew what it was like, and I knew they'd say yes to anything if they could just get approved. So I'm like, I don't even like talking 800 credit scores.
They're aware out.
They want to know. They want you to
amortize the freaking interest.
They want me to hook up their Bluetooth to 15 different family members shit. I'm like, that. So I ran this advertisement. It was like 590, and I took my phone like this, and I blanked out all their information, and I said, hey guys, if this is you with a 500 credit score, this is you.
And we had a nice car behind it.
Here's a BMW. I said, you could walk out of here with any car, because Brian Harris, you got bad credit. You're gonna definitely want that BMW. And then you've been turned down on the Nissan Altima. You can't get a BMW, but you see that, and you're like, let's have a conversation. And then so you would reach out to me, and I'd say, I guarantee you can get approved. 100% approval, even at 500 credit score, even on the BMW. And you know what people do? They reach out. Now, I guarantee I can get you an approval, because if you got 50 grand down and the car's 51,000, we can get you approved. Okay? So I'm not lying. I just didn't tell you the whole story. And that's advertising. So they would reach out, and then I'd say, hey, good news, man. We got you approved
maybe it's
on
5
something.
Grand, or maybe it's 2 grand.
And then maybe I'd walk them
through.
through.
Have a different car.
But I was also good enough to say, I had enough charisma, swag, understanding of the business. When I then got that conversation with that guy, I'd say, listen, dude, we can get you approved on a couple things. You do need a lot of money down to get the BMW, but ultimately we just got to get you to crawl before you can walk. Listen, there's ways for us to go get you into something, and I'm the credit coach, so I'm going to help you go from a 500 to a 700. In my career, I built probably 2,000 to 3,000 people from a 500 credit score to a 700. Okay, so I knew exactly what to do. I knew exactly how to dispute stuff on their bureau. I knew exactly how to keep them accountable. So I'd say, hey, you coming in, I'm going to show you exactly how you're going to get to that credit score, and then one day you're going to come in in. We're going to get you 0% on whatever car, but we got to start somewhere. And they'd say yes. And then I would have that advertisement, I would have them all come in on Thursdays.
Thursdays was bad credit day.
And I would have all these applications approved.
That's when
on all
Anthony
these
Mitchell
cars
would be sitting there.
And I'd have my
ready to
finance
go.
manager ready to go. And they'd walk in and I'd be like, all right, cool. Here's how this is going to work. I walk them out, show them the car. You know, they drive it real quick. They come back in. They'd say, oh, we want the BMW. And I'd handle that. Boom, put them in the box, close them. And I would just go through and I would have like 7, 8 car days just because I structured something. I knew what to do. I had the right advertisement and I spent money on it. So it was pretty easy to me, and it just became one of my best all-time lead sources. It was literally 30 to 40 cars a month.
Who can do that? Who can? And by the way, listen, advertising first was kind of confusing. Like when you're posting one for cars, there's like a little button that you had to click that said it had to do with credit, and then that made it so it didn't get flagged.
Yeah.
So we had to learn that a couple of times. We posted 3 or 4 different advertisements. None of them worked, and then we saw this one that was working for somebody else, and we used it. To me, it was like Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre drops all these beats, all these hot beats, all these hot albums, right? No, there's probably like 10 or 15 albums you don't even freaking know about. But then you hear that one song, you're like, boom, that's the song that plays. And then that's the one that we would sponsor.
Yeah, and we did like 15 ads that never worked.
We would do
most of them would get taken down. If you said bad credit, they never let you say that. You had to say challenge. And so we'd spend money and it wouldn't work.
But you're never going to know unless you don't try, right?
No, you're never going to know unless you try, Evan.
Oh, right.
Don't try. You're like, don't try. Just advertising, super important. You can get that going. If you're a business owner, we have the best advertising guy on the planet. You can reach out to me. His name is Nate Tilley. He does all of our advertising. He's phenomenal.
Yep.
He does it for business owners, not salespeople.
Then you don't even got to think, okay? The next one is wrapping a car, man. Like, we're talking about advertising here. We're talking about marketing here, guys. Who wants more leads?
But don't wrap your car if you drive like shit.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Don't drive your car. Wrap your car if you're in the fast lane. If you're in the fast lane going 15 miles an hour, okay, damn it, Cherish, get your ass out there.
She would be aggressive and like on your ass, like move over. Like she just
and then goes to the other side of the coin. If you drive like an asshole, Cherish, and then you're going around me and you're doing some shit, I'm leaving you Google reviews. Don't be doing that.
Well, so we
drive like a good human.
We just had our bus wrapped. If you guys have seen us, you guys follow us. We had our bus wrapped. Andy's had a few of the cars wrapped. Like we just want more people to see.
I can't wrap my car right now because I'm way too aggressive.
Yes.
Okay.
There's no wrapping our cars.
I got way too much testosterone going through my body right now.
Okay, but wrapping, man, that's like something simple. Some of you guys, support your brand. You see a lot of roofing companies do it. There's some, Jimmy and Deborah, they're a solar couple that works here actually. They
made $1 million in solar.
They made $1 million in solar. And they got their little Prius.
But there's other people that were making $30,000 a year.
They got their brand, the solar couple. It's on their car.
Well, number 12, just hashtags, man. Super simple. Hashtagging your brand, hashtagging popular trends. Like we were in Denver, we hashtagged the Denver Nuggets, the Denver Broncos. We ran geofencing to the games, so that was always simple. We would always be out front of the games. We had signs where we'd be out front of the games. We'd sponsor people to go stand out front of the games and like have our signs and we'd hashtag them and stand out, shit like that. Super simple on Instagram. Number 13, this is like an outbound strategy. If you're gonna send something to like you're in business to business or something, we use this one now. We would send a shoe to like say a corporate CEO. We'd know what size he is. We'd call the secretary. She'd say, oh, he's a size 12. And we'd say, oh, perfect. I'm just sending him something. We had a great meeting the other day, whether I met him or not. Okay. And then I would send him a shoe in the mail, like one Cole Haan. And I'd say, hey man, I already got the foot in the door with half of your sales team. They know who I am. Help me get the other foot in the door and I'll send you the other shoe. Just want to have a conversation. Here's my phone number. Let me know. And they would always reach out. I closed tons of automotive groups that way. Okay. Pizza.
If you're selling B2B, pizza, man, we sent pizzas to everybody. And what we would do is we call the pizza place and we say, hey, remove one slice of the pizza and put Andy Elliott's team as the missing slice.
And then your cell phone number, and we'd send it to them. What car dealer don't like pizza? They all like pizza. They get the pizza, they start eating it, and they always text you.
There was another one. Selena bought a couple hundred flip phones off of Amazon, and if clients are ghosting her, they're big enough deals for her to take the time to do that. She would send phones in the mail. We would send
Nokia phones.
in the mail.
Who's old enough to remember Nokia?
Yeah, some of y'all don't even know what a flip phone is.
Yeah, some of y'all don't even know what that is. But playing Snake on them phones, we'd send them an old Nokia, and they'd be like, oh my God, look at this phone. And then they tell their friends, they'd be like, this girl sent this to me. This is crazy, dude. And they'd get a little nostalgia in their body,
So, dude, you gotta who wants to be different? Raise your hand if you want to be different. Raise your hand. Raise your feet. Put your feet in there if you want to be different. Mike Audio, put your feet in there. Put your feet in there. Okay.
Mike Audio got cankles.
Okay.
He don't want people to see his
Mike,
cankles.
you got cankles?
Oh, he's doing it. He's doing it. There he goes. There he goes.
Oh, he does got
He's
cankles.
got Skechers, bro. Hey, those are the Sketcher 1000s, bro.
Yeah, you know that dude can
those when you got
barbecue.
grandkids.
You know that dude can barbecue.
Yeah, you know he can barbecue. And stay off my damn lawn.
Yeah.
Why don't you be cruising around
Mike,
here too fast?
You're that guy that's like, they're speeding in the neighborhood.
It's like, bro, just
you're
chill
frustrated.
out, dude. You remember being young? Like now, like, dude.
You're the guy that you walk around the parking lot, you're like, man, how much will you think they sell those signs for, honey? And then you start doing the math on everything. You're like, man, we can make $50,000. We do that. You know, you're
Jeez,
just like,
man.
That's how you start getting.
If Mike Audio was in my neighborhood, I'd run his trash can over with my car just to see him just nuke.
And then back up and then run it over again.
I'm like, whoop, I didn't mean to knock that trash over into your yard, bud.
Yeah.
You know, with your bad attitude. I'm just kidding.
No,
Just kidding.
Mike's opposite of that.
Yeah, he's good. He's just a little older. So, you know, when we see old people on here, we just got to mess with them. Like Anson, you know, like I usually I'm not
Just
old,
so
I'm
you know,
48.
just
I'm like,
so you know,
yeah,
Mike-
you're 48 with like you're like a Toyota Corolla with 2 million miles on it, dude. You've had your transmission replaced 900 times, your title's bent. You know, we need to pull a car.
The car
back on
drives
you.
sideways.
It's got 13 owners. You know what I'm saying? Like it drives sideways. But you know, you can still get $1,500 for it. You know, and that's $1,500 too much. Okay.
Mike was our sales manager. That's why he's starting to get some grays. Back in the day, we've known Mike for about 10 years, so we always got to give him a hard time. Man, so just think about it right now. I want you to look back on your list, and I want you guys to do this. When you see something that you know you need to do, you have to go take it into action fast. Doing some of the flyer marketing. Go do a flyer today, print a bunch of them out, get them delivered,
and then
put them in your car. That's one thing.
That's what Corey Baker did. It's just one thing.
Eric, pause. I saw that.
Push-ups, Eric.
Push-ups. I saw that yawn, bro.
Push-ups, Eric.
That was why'd you yawn like that? He's like,
and then he just like stretched it out. He's like, twins, please see me yawning.
Respect.
Jesus Christ. He yawned like his breast.
We're over here giving you all we got.
He yawns like his breast stink.
Oh, his breath.
Because you know the guys that yawn the biggest, it's usually they got the stinkiest breath. You're like, bro, you got caca breath. You got step back breath.
Eric,
and you're yawning that like this. Like if you're gonna yawn and you have caca breath, please, for the love of God, just close your lips. Just lock them up. Lock your tongue in jail.
Eric,
and no yawning loud if you got stinky breath.
Eric,
okay?
I want you to go drink some water, and if the water tastes bad, it's not the water, it's your breath.
Oh, he just let you know. How do you know if you got caca breath?
Everybody go drink some water.
Put that one in your pipe and smoke it.
This doesn't taste good, I'm sure, unless you live in Flint, Michigan, or wherever the hell they're having all
Yeah, but
those
then
problems.
there's going to be guys like Luis that are like, it's got to be the water. And you're like, bro, it's
You don't live
water,
in Gary,
dude.
Indiana, bro. Your water's
like,
fine.
It's water.
Your breath
like, bro,
stinks.
you live in Florida, bro. You just got shitty breath.
No, the tartar's falling off your teeth.
Yeah, dude, you're just making the water dirty. If you lick the water and the water starts changing colors, you know you got an issue.
God, dude.
Jesus
what the hell?
Christ.
You see what you did to us, Eric?
Stop blaming the water. And see, it's guys like Eric that just throw us off.
Okay.
He should be illegal. Fire him from the Zoom.
Throw him off. Throw him out of here.
Remove him from the ETA. Refund his amount. Just kidding, dude.
All right, so Twin Tuesday's over. That's it. That's all we got for you guys.
We'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you next week. All right, guys, you're the true 1%ers. You made it to the end of the video. Let's go. Like, comment, so we know who you are down below, and then share this video to somebody else who needs it, and also turn your notifications on, because we got the fire coming every single day. Amazing. We'll see you at the next video. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.